Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the second part of this, which is generating a standard contract. So initially we did the upload third party. Now we'll be looking at the how to generate a standard contract. And again, you can see I'm within my Salesforce environment, and just so you take out the stage is qualification, the status is new, there is no contract signed date, and there is no effective date, because these fields I would like for them to get auto-populated as the contract lifecycle goes on. So again, I'm going to start by clicking on the button to create contract. Here, I'm given the same options to choose a template. So this time around, I'm going to go with the generate a Capstone contract. And here, again, the fields have been auto-populated. I have the effective date here, which defaults to today. This is one of the fields that I use in the forms library, which is where we can create those fields that we can use on multiple forms and reuse them as many times as we need to. So it is a good place to store reusable fields data. So I'm going to say yes, I want this to go out for review, and just like previously, I'm going to choose a primary contact on this account, which in this case is me. And because this is a standard contract, I want it to go to legal for review, and I'm going to say next. So while this form is generating, it opens up, and I can go ahead and have a preview of it to make sure that everything looks well, to make sure that the merge tags worked well, everything is right, the date is correct, and if everything looks fine, I say okay, save. Once I save this, the workflow gets triggered and emails will go out, Salesforce will get updated for next steps, tasks will be assigned. So for starters, let's look at what has happened within Salesforce. So let me go ahead and refresh this opportunity. And if we go back to details, we'll see that the stage has been updated to negotiation and review. The contract status has now been updated to legal review. So this is what it looks like now. If we go now back again, because I'm set up as different personas in here, let's go into the email and we'll be able to see the mail I just got. And if I click into that, it says please review contract below. I click on the link and it takes me to that task, like it takes me to the contract itself for me to do whatever review I have to do. So in this case, as legal team, this is legal. As a legal team, I go through it to make sure that everything is fine. I check that everything is right. In case something was not right, I'm going to go through the same process we did with the third party upload. I'm going to click on more, check out the document, make any edits I need to make, download the document, make any edits I need to make, come back here, check the document in, and again, when I click on compare, it's going to show me whatever changes have been made as compared to what changes we have now. So again, since I already showed that process with the third party upload, we are going to just go ahead with this one with approve. So here it says please approve, please review and approve / reject. I'm going to approve this. I'm going to make a comment and say this looks good and complete. So again, while in here, we have the same options that we had in the other one. We can see the attributes that have been used on this form. We can see the activity and all of the good stuff. So I'm going to say okay for the task. I want to approve that and I complete. Once I do this, emails are going to go out again. Let me come back into Salesforce and you see, hey, as legal, because I'm also set up as a legal person, it says, hey, review is needed. I click into it and it says contract for your review. Please click on the link to review the contract and thanks. So I click into that link. This is still within legal. And the reason this comes to me now as a task is so that I can choose the next step, right? So it goes back to the choice. Let me decide what happens next. If I come in here and I look again, something doesn't look right, I have the opportunity to check out the document, download it, make edits, check it back in, and move on. So from here now, because I want this workflow to keep going, I'm going to say, okay, these are the different options that as a legal team we have in here. First, we can send this for another internal review to have someone else look at it, especially if something doesn't look right. We can send it out. We can send it to the vendor, like the customer, and have them review it as well. Or we can send it for signature. If everything looks fine now, we don't need to send it to another person. We send it out for signature, as well as we can reject it and end the workflow. So in this case, we're going to go the vendor route. So again, you click on send for vendor review and leave a comment. Good practice. Please review and let us know. Everyone, type as much as you can type in there to describe stuff. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and say next. So when I say next, what happens is that this also goes out it goes now to the customer, the vendor. And again, it said that's me. I set it up as an integration user, but which is also still me. So if I click in there now as the vendor, this is what they see. They can click on the link to review the document, or they can also review online. So in this case, I'm going to review online as the vendor, as the external reviewer. It gives you guidelines on how to go about this, because yes, not all external customers are familiar with DocuSign. So it gives some guidelines on how to go about this. You see, got it. And in here, they have the options to still edit this document before they sign it. So this is why it's called a review, right? It's also a review. What they'll need to do here, you see that they don't have the option for the check-in and check-out because they are not DocuSign. They're not doing that within DocuSign. They're doing this from DocuSign. So they can go ahead and download this file, this contract, edit it, make whatever edits they need to do on the contract, and when you click on next, they'll be able to upload the edited contract again. So that's step 2. So because we're not going through the edit route again, since I already showed you that together with the redlining and stuff, in this case, we're going to say, no, everything looks fine. Everything looks as expected. I guess we're good to go. And they're going to skip stage 2 and leave a comment and say, we are good to go. And from here, they can now finish. When they finish this route, so you say they click on finish and they say, hey, confirm confirm that everything is ready and you're done with this review. They say, yes, I'm done with it. What happens at this stage is that it goes now back to legal. So external has reviewed it. It goes now back to legal. And we're going to see that notification. This is just to tell me one of the emails that gets sent. This is to tell me that I can review the generated sales contract, but there is an email that should be going out to legal itself again for them to make a choice. There we go. I was wondering what was happening. So it comes back in here and we'll look for the most recent 10 minutes. And if we go back here, contract for your review. So when external reviews it, it goes back to legal, and legal looks at what if external made any changes or stuff, then they can now send this out for signature after they've reviewed everything and everything looks well. So because external, the vendor did not make any changes, the document came back so it came back with no document attached, which means the original document came back and everything looks fine. Legal now has, so legal, before I go to make a choice for legal, we can see, again, we can still see all the attributes that have been used here. We can see the activity of what has happened so far, right? So initially it got approved with a note saying this looks good. It went out now and it says, it went out to legal, asking legal to please review. And legal reviewed it and says, hey, we are good to go. So all of that history, the history of the document is being recorded. So if we go back to task now and we say, okay, everything looks fine. We want this to go for signature. So they send this for signature and they say, please sign. To meet the requirements here, this is going out to 2 signatories, right? And if I click save, we are expecting the first signature, we're expecting the first signatory to receive it. And the first signatory, in this case, as we see, says contract for signature. So they don't go all out at the same time. When one gets signed, the other one gets sent out for signature as well. So again, we have our first signatory here, and we click on review the document. While in here, say, okay, I want to look at this. Internal needs to sign before vendor signs, right? So this is internal. Whoever the internal person is, if it's still part of the legal team, there's somebody that's responsible for this, that takes care of this. So here they'll start and they'll sign, and you see that it auto-populates the agreement date, and when someone from Xcore, when the customer is going to sign, it's also going to auto-populate that. So they click on finish. Once I click on finish, it already shows that the first signature has been captured. And so once the first signature gets captured, the second signature request goes out. And this is where, if we go back now to my inbox, the integration user, which in this case is our customer, has also received one for signature. I hope this is the right one. Did I look at the subject? Did they say for signature? Oh yeah, it did say for signature, correct. So this is the right document. So this is what the customer sees on their side, and they go in, they view the document, they get to agree to electronic records, to storage of electronic records. Now you can see that this is happening because it's external, this is not internal. And they click on continue, they click on start, it takes them now to their own section for signature. And right here, because I don't want my same signature to be, I have the opportunity to draw, and I can say this was this user. Not the best signature, but yes, we can adopt that and sign. Once this is done, as you can also see, the signature date has been captured and the finish. Okay, not for now. Thank you. So once this is done, a couple of emails have gone out. Hey, the document has been signed. Hey, Solange Chair viewed the contract for signature, and this is complete. You can now go ahead and you look at the completed document. You'll see that everything looks good. Oh, interestingly, locked me out. Let's make sure that we see that and we're able to close it out ourselves. So yes, everything looks good. We have captured both signatures as needed, and we can close this out. So once we close this out, so we are sure that we have captured everything, let's now quickly go to Salesforce and refresh Salesforce so we can see the updates that have been made in there. So now after our contract has been signed, everything looks good. This gets updated. Interestingly, let me refresh that again. Could take a minute sometimes, but this should work. There we go. So yes, we see that the stage has been updated to close one. The contract status has been stamped as signed. The contract sign date is updated, and the effective date is also updated. So this is the whole process of the when the contract is generated, it goes out. We can have as many edits as possible. The cycle just continues until it's sent out for signature and it gets signed. Then the contract life cycle will end. If you scroll at the bottom here, we also see that it has updated it. It has generated a document, and the description says signed. So next, we're going to get now into DocuSign. So this is all of it when it comes to the end user's experience. We're going to switch now back to DocuSign. We're going to get into DocuSign now and see how this was configured.